Hey everybody, welcome to Mom Plays. I am Mom. We are doing Skyrim mods today, and we did giant houses last time, and it took an hour. And today we're going to do cozy cottages, which hopefully will not take near as long to do. But we do have 6 of them. 2 of them are situated in the approximately the same area of the map, so we will have to back out of the game, disable one, enable the other, and reload in. And I'm not sure if I'm going to show you how you do that or not, or if that'll be a separate video on how to use the mods on the console, which is really easy. But anyway, on with the cozy cottages. So we are here in front of this cottage, which is called Autumn Haven, and this one has been made by Wind Whistle. Let's look at the map really quick and I'll show you where it is. So here we are right here, Autumn Haven, and next to us we have the Sarethi farm. It's basically just southeast of Iverstead, across the little lake there, and there's Garriman's Hall. So it's right here, and this is a cute little place. It's very bright though. I did notice, and I'm not sure if it's the graphics overhaul mod that I put on here, but look at the color of these freaking flowers. And this ivy, it's not just green, but it's also gold, like, you know, it's perpetually fall in the rift. So, you know, that's the way that looks. So we are right on the road, as you can see here. Road. Maik is hanging out over there. I love Maik. Anyway, let's take a look at the outside really quick. You have this tiny little walled garden area here. And in the back, you have some planters that you can plant other alchemy ingredients or food if you want. And then it has its own little pond with its own gilder green. Everybody loves the gilder green. But anyway, beside the point that the gilder green is supposed to only be in Whiterun at this point, it's beautiful. And our own little pond with a bench to sit at. And of course, if you come over here, you can come over to the lake and look at the lake. It's very nice views. And then there is a porch upstairs that you can get to from the upstairs bedroom also, which is really nice, with a couple benches, a little seating area. I love this. The sip drink. You don't actually see yourself sip drink, you just sip the drink. But it also has a nice view. You can watch any passersby going by, etc. It won't let me jump out. Okay. So let's go on inside and check out our house. Now, these are cozy cottages, so they're not, you know, overly huge, which is a nice thing. All right, so here we are on the inside. The first thing that you see is this nice little living room. Couple of chairs by the fire with your wine. The fire obviously has a cooking station in it. This house is an alchemist house, let me tell you, because there are planters all over the place. There's some there, there's a bunch right there, so you can make this a nice alchemist shack. Right here you have your food and ingredient storage. And then over here you have your alchemy lab and your enchanting lab with, obviously, like I said, more pots. And I love how the mod author made this hanging bookshelf, which is really cool because there's one here and then there's one there. So it's a nice thing. You know, you can make it look like you have your little research station at the same time. And then there is alchemy ingredients here and poisons and potions to store here. Over here, obviously, the enchanter, so you've got a bunch of weapons plaques that you can store weapons on. You also have 2 soul gem storages and your bookshelf. So that is the main level. Let's go upstairs before we go down. So when you come upstairs, I've noticed this a lot in Skyrim, where modders will take the weapons and armors plaques and turn them on end and turn them into something different, like this. This is all your dragon claw storage, so you can store all of your dragon claws up there. I bet you it looks really cool when you do that too. And then this is your bedroom, which is, it's interesting. There's a mannequin rack, some more planters, He looks like he's going to plie. Anyway, over here, there's a place to search, to store your notes and letters that you get. I usually just use a bedside nightstand to do that, but that's a good idea. You've got bookshelves, a nice little seating area, and this bed, which is covered in ivy, which I think that it would have been fine just leaving it covered in ivy, but then they put a tree on top of it, and I'm not really sure how that works. I'm going to assume it's by magic. But this is obviously, you know, like a mage's house, I think, because magic. That's what I'm going to say. And then, of course, you've got your wardrobe, which is actually a shelf that is doing dual duty as a wardrobe. And your weapons barrel, which is something we haven't seen yet. You can store all your weapons in here. Now, I don't know. Let's see if the weapon shows up in the barrel when I put a weapon in the barrel. Let's see. Weapons. Let's put the Nightingale blade in there. Please don't let me lose my Nightingale blade. Okay? No, it does not. Okay. That's okay. Oh, I didn't store it. That's why. I just unequipped it. Oops. Sorry. Or I equipped it. Let's store that. No, it does not show up in there, so I will take that back. All right, but that's cool. All right, so that is your upstairs bedroom. And of course, this is the porch out onto that balcony. The last place, and this borders on cozy to almost large just because it also has a basement. But still, I mean, it's still cozy. And of course, your basement has got all of your weapon and armor smithing areas. So, you know, that's why there's a basement. So it's still cozy. And another mannequin. And you've got your ingot shelf and your ore shelf to store all your smithing things. And yeah, that pretty much does it for Autumn Haven. It's a great little place. I think it's really pretty. Still am a little confused by the tree on the bed, but let's not question that, okay? Let's just not. All right, so that is house number 1, Autumn Haven by Wind Whistle. All right, now we're going to go to our next place. All right, our next place is called Fimbulveter Retreat, the Darker Hot Spring. So there's two mods. There's just the retreat, and there's a retreat with the hot spring. And I chose the retreat with the hot spring because it shows the hot spring and the retreat, which is the base retreat. And how you get there is you come up here to Refugees Rest, which is the furthest point here on the map. It is just east of Windhelm and the Sacellum of Boethia. And there'll be a new marker for the valley just up the way. And hopefully the frost trolls haven't respawned here, because every time I've come in here, there's been frost trolls. All right, so it is right up here past Refugees Rest. The mod author made an entirely new area. Hello, bunny. Hello. Should I beat you so it says I've killed some bunny rabbits? Okay. Outside the valley. Oh, before I go on, this was made by Stealthy Wolf. Both versions were made by Stealthy Wolf. So outside you've got your stables right here. And then you go through this cave into the valley. And here we are in our own private valley. Now, I guess you could oh God, I can't talk this morning. I guess you can consider this a large area, a large house, but see, the house isn't large. It's a cozy cottage. So, but the area it's in is large and new. So first of all, you've got your own goats that are wandering around here doing their goat things. You can't kill them. They have no names. Been cool. It would have been cool if they named them. But you walk up this little canyon and you come to, oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? You come to your own private valley. So on the one side, we've got this little hay loft and some water. Obviously, we fish. And then you've got your animal pen that's got your ox and your chickens in it. And your own grindstone and tiny little garden where you can grow your wheat to grind on the grindstone and make flour. And then the house is kind of at the far end of this little canyon. And you have your little like tool shed over here. There's like a little shed with your rakes and hay. And then this is the house right here. And it's a cute little cottage. And I like this place. It's neat. If you want like a hermit retreat, that's not, like I have no money hermit. No, raggedy clothes hermit. No, if you want a retreat where you're not going to get bugged by city people or, children, here you go. All right, so like the last video, certain houses, I don't know why, render in with this blue mesh around some of the cases. I have no idea why it does that. But I'm not keeping these houses, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. So anyway, when you first come in, you come into a nice like entryway that's got display cases and mannequins and plaques and just some decoration where you can display things. And then you come into the main living room, which has a lovely fireplace right in the middle of it, with some nice seating and some bookshelves to store your books. All right. When you come to the left, you have your bedroom, which is got more display cases, has got different trunks for like, this is for miscellaneous, this is for weapons. You got your wardrobes, there's clothing, and armors and things like that. And then of course your nice big bed. And I love this. I love the decorations here. There's jewels and jewelry all out. There's tiny little safes for your jewelry and gemstones. And there's this nice little paragon pedestal with a little circlet pedestals to make a little decoration. And of course, another mannequin. So there's lots of places to display your weapons and your armor, which is nice. I like that. So that's your bedroom. And then if you come over here, squeeze past the fireplace, you have your kitchen, which is well appointed. He's got storage for red apples, green apples, tomatoes, leeks, potatoes, wines, meads. He even has storage for if you want to store your sweet rolls, you want to store cheese, just all separately. And then you have your oven, and you have your cooking pot, and a little dining nook over here to eat your meals that is very nicely decorated. So that's your kitchen. And then there's this tiny little spot right here, which is kind of your little study. You got your bookshelf. You've got bookcases. This one is a static, just display. This one you can actually store in. And he's got some nice little storage here where you can store your letters here. You can store keys there. You can store journals, writing materials or scrolls. So I love the OCD portion of his storage. Now, the first time I came through here, I thought this was just a regular cabinet, so I ignored it. But when I reinstalled this, I realized I was missing 2 workstations after going downstairs, and they are hiding back here. Here is your alchemy lab, and he's got storage for everything. Flowers go in here, roots, berries, and grapes, mushrooms, insect parts. I think it's a really neat way to, I love this, claws, teeth, tails, eyes, feathers. And then, of course, potion storage right here. And it's just very nicely done with a witch's brew cauldron. And then if you go through this one, here is your enchanter. And it's got soul gem storage here, which I thought was a good idea. And a bookcase. So these are nice little hidden, like if you're, how Skyrim feels about mages and stuff, barely tolerate them. It's all hidden, so it doesn't look like that's what you do, right? All right. Oh, before we go down, I did want to point out one thing. I'm pretty sure this is not in the base game, but there is a Shrine of Ariel here. And when you activate it, it gives you the blessings of Ariel, and I was like, there's no such thing in the game. Oops, not shouts, active effects. So if we go down to blessings of Ariel, it says you are 10% more effective with missile weapons. And I'm assuming that's magical missile weapons like fireball, but I don't, or an ice spike, but I'm not sure. Anyway, okay, so downstairs we have this nice little storage area that you actually can store in some of these crates. And if you come over here, you have your followers rooms. I don't think you can use these as kids rooms. I think you can only use them as followers rooms, but they're nice. They have a bed and storage for a couple of followers. Wait a minute. Oh my God, I did not know this was here. Let's see what this is. What is in here? Oh, yes, I did know this was here. It's just storage with a hidden shrine of Talos, because remember, we're not supposed to be worshiping Talos in Skyrim. That's one of the major reasons for the Civil War. All right, lastly, for this house, we have your armor and weapons area, and you've got your tanning rack, you've got storage for your supplies, workbench, grindstone, and then this is really interesting. There's separate storage for all your stuff right there. You've got your anvil, but this is your smelter, which is totally a reskinned smelter. All right. Now, one last thing that we did not look at. Remember I said there's a spring here? There's you know, a retreat spring. Well, if you come over here, back to this little hayloft, there's this little opening, little grate here that goes to the hot springs. And you come into this nice little cave, and you come into this hot spring, which I think is really well done. I love the little lanterns everywhere. And then, of course, if you come over here, there's like food and drinks, so you could be lounging in your hot springs, eating your food, drinking your wine. There are no chairs placed in here, which would have made this even better, to place like a little chair in the deep end that your character could sit on. So your character can't sit in this, and it's not deep enough to swim, but still, it's a very, I love it. It's a very pretty little private retreat. All right, back up. Ooh, I got stuck. All right, so that is Fimbulvetter Retreat, Darker Hot Spring by Stealthy Wolf. Okay, on to the next one. All right, this is Hare Island, and Hare Island is the island in Lake Inalta. Inalta? Pretty sure that's what it's called. Yes, Lake Inalta. So there's Inalta's Deep. Here is Half Moon Mill. It's that island right in the middle that houses the Lover Stone. Which stone is this? That usually all that's on it is the Lady Stone. And sometimes when I play through, a couple gargoyles. The mod author, who is Gumais, put a retreat on here, put a little tiny house on here. She made a dock, and I put a little boat next to it, because obviously you boat in here. Over by the Inalta's Deep, there's slaughterfish, so you know you don't want to swim in this water. And then it's called Hare Island because as you walk around, although weirdly enough I don't see any this time. Usually when I fast travel here, there's freaking rabbits jumping all over this place, but I don't see any right now. But anyway, there are bunny rabbits all over the place. Okay, so outside of the retreat, which is that little shack right there, is all of your blacksmithing and armor stations, which makes sense because they all have fire. They have to do with fire, and why would you do that inside? Risk burning down your house. Otherwise, it's just very well put, a lot of trees to make it nice and foresty and hidden. I love that. And then there's the shack right here. So let's go into the shack. And this is the definition of a cozy cottage, let me tell you. It is definitely not big. So you come into the main room, which is like a lot of main room cottages in Skyrim. You've got your bed. There's decorations. You've got a chest to store your store stuff in. Oh, poor daughter, the nibbin fell on the floor. You've got your cooking pot, little table to eat at, and I don't know, this is an extra seating area. Very small cottage. But you say, where are the other workbenches? Well, you also have a basement, and it's not big. This is the basement. Very colorful in my estimation, but it has everything that you need in here. So you've got your alchemy station here. You've got some chests to store your stuff in. Another fireplace to keep it warm down here with another cooking pot and some seating, and a little table, and your arcane enchanter. And then, of course, you have this lovely effigy to Sheogorath with the Wabbajack on the wall. And that is it for this cottage. It is truly a very, I just knocked something over, that was awesome. It is truly a very cozy cottage done by Gunmais. All right, so now we're going to go off to the next one.
Disrespect the law and you disrespect me.
Excuse me. Interrupting. All right, you guys, we are in Falkreath, which, you know, I'll show you the map, but hopefully everybody knows where Falkreath is. It's right here. Okay, and we are going to the Wellborn Legacy Redoubt. Oh, it's not over there, it's over here. So it is on the far side of Falkreath from where you enter. And it is over by the cemetery and the Arcade Chapel or whatever, where this guy, Runil, does his stuff. And the mod author, who is Yanni, put this house up on the hill. Just climb these staircases, and here is the house. Now, this was going to take a minute for us to do, because when you come to the house at first, it says it requires the key. Well, the key is in the Jarl's quarters, and you have to go steal it. There's also a letter there. So let's come on over to the Jarl's quarters. Steal us a key. Where are the Jarl's quarters? Oh, there they are. I love it when I can't find things. All right, so they aren't actually in the Jarl's room. They are over here in the Housecarls area. Hopefully this asshole isn't following me. They are sitting right on the table, so we're gonna read this letter. If you're reading this, I have passed away. This, my dear Samira, that's my name. Shed no tears, for I've lived a long and fulfilling life. I leave the family home, the Wellborn family sword, and your aunt's magic bow to you. Take care and do the Wellborn name proud. Signed, Raymond Wellborn. So they added a little lore into this, for you. Which makes no sense because, well, I guess it makes sense if sometime during the actual gameplay, the actual story, you learned who you were.
Can sometimes act too quickly.
Whoa. She was like right in our faces. So, like I said, it adds a supposed uncle and aunt that, you know, you didn't have in the game, which is a little, I don't know if it fits, because, you know, you end up at the beginning, your first memory is waking up trussed and bound on a cart, you know. So anyway, all right, so now that we have the key, oh, there's a letter. I didn't even notice this letter here first. Uncle Raymond has passed away, may he rest in peace. Yes. I wonder if this, all right, well, I'm going to leave that there because I don't need it. All right, let's go inside the Wellborn cabin. Now, this has got some things I don't agree with in it, but it's still, I think it's a neat little place. And it gives you a little, I don't know, story. And the first thing is you enter the cabin, and it's just a normal cabin. You've got storage in places. There's letters, like this is a letter to Ysolda, the merchant in Whiterun, and it basically makes it sound like your uncle traded with her, basically. Yeah. So you've got your nice kitchen area with your fire. I don't agree with. They made this. This is your steam oven, which is dwarven, which I don't agree with in a Nord place, but it's here, as well as the cold storage there. And then you've got your auto cooker, which is all new Dwemer stuff that this mod author made, which is cool. I mean, it looks really cool. So I'm not going to question it too much. Okay, so this is your upstairs, and it's just a nice little seating area. Here's your tanning rack. Here's some more seating over here. And then coming down, what was that? Something flashed. Activate shield rack. Oh, these little knobbles are, look at, they're all tiny. Okay, so those are shield racks. Sorry, I did not notice those the first time. So then you come downstairs and you have a nice downstairs area. I love how they did this table around the post. It's kind of your drinking area. If you come over, you've got wardrobes. If you come over here, this is your enchanter, which is supposed to be like your aunt's or your cousin's enchanter, which is totally reskinned. I think that's awesome looking. Secret note. I didn't notice that before. Over the past 15 years, your aunt and I have accumulated a small fortune by not having to pay taxes. The deal, blah, 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 blah. There's no secondary page to tell you the rest of it, so that's weird. Anyway, so here's your enchanter, and then, and it's in your bedroom, which is here. And then you've got a nice little writing desk that you can hang out in. You've got some wardrobes and storage and I am not sure, shelving, I guess. And then these, I love these drawers. These are actually drawers built into the wall. And then apparently they worship Debella. Interesting. Okay, so that is your bedroom. And then over here you have a door to the storage room. And the storage room is where we find our alchemy station. And there's storage for everything. There's this cool looking egg that there's a note somewhere around here that talks about how they made this magic dragon's egg. There's jewelry boxes and just a nice little, I love the faces in the wall. That's creepy. Anyway, just a nice little alchemy storage. Oh, you can store your smithing supplies here, apparently. Alrighty. Yeah. So that is in here. Back outside. Speaking of smithing supplies, did we see a smithing area in here? I do not believe. Okay, everybody, we are back and we are looking at Forest Lodge by Waxius Phoenix 3. And literally, this is the where we were for that one cabin, and it is right next to it. So I think having both of these enabled would have created a conflict, and we didn't want that. So this is Forest Lodge, and it's a cute tiny little home right here, very nicely done up against this rock face and right across from Riverwood. So let's go inside. All right, so we are in this teeny tiny little cabin with these oversized planters. I love the oversized planters that they put in here. You come in, you have your little seating area to eat and your little bed with a chest and your cooking fire with your cooking pot and your oven, which has been sunk into the fireplace, which I thought was a really neat little thing. And then I love all the hanging moss and stuff in here. It looks good. Then you come downstairs here. You have your basement with your soul gem storage for your arcane enchanter, which is right here. You've got your grindstone, your workbench, and your forge here. And your alchemy lab with your potion and ingredient storage right next to it. And of course, your chopping block. And a little display case to display some things in. What? Oh, they're arrows. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, literally, this has got to be one of the coziest cottages we've looked at. Oh, I love that dragon's head with the moss on it. That's pretty cool. And that is the Forest Lodge. It's very tiny. It has the things that you need in it. And it's very well decorated for such a small space. And that's it. So those were 6 cozy cottages out of all the ones that I looked at that I liked the best. Oh, look, Fallen Heroes is online. Anyway, that I liked the best out of all the ones that I looked at, and I hope that you guys like them too. You have been watching Mom Plays. You can follow me on Twitter at Tonya Treese, and I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all next time.